What happens when you take ancient farming wisdom and you blast it with modern science? Well, that's exactly what we're diving into. We're going to see how one amazing scientist is revolutionizing organic agriculture by making these age-old practices, well, reliable for the modern world. Okay, so here's the big question, right? This is a huge challenge for so many organic farmers. They've got these incredible techniques passed down for generations, but the results can be all over the place. One year you get an amazing harvest, the next, not so much. So, how do you take the guesswork out of the equation? Well, to figure that out, we need to talk about the work of Dr. Aparna B. She's a professor and head at the Karla Agricultural University, and she's literally made it her life's mission to tackle this exact problem head on. And we're talking about over 20 years of experience here. Her whole career has been focused on this one central idea. How can we use science to help farmers, not just in Kerala, but everywhere, make their organic methods more predictable, way more effective, and at the end of the day, just more successful? And just look at this timeline. This really shows you how deep her commitment is. This isn't something she just started. I mean, we're talking about a career built on pure excellence. She's got these super prestigious fellowships right from the start, major awards like the Kerala State Young Scientist Award, all leading up to the Best Scientist Award in 2023. That is a serious track record. Okay, so with all that expertise, what's the one big problem she decided to tackle? Well, it all boils down to some of the most common and, frankly, most powerful tools that an organic farmer has. We are talking about traditional liquid manures. Now, these are things like panchagavya and jivamurth. They're these organic concoctions, using natural stuff like cow dung, urine, things that have been used for literally centuries to make the soil richer. And they work. They're super powerful. But there's always been one big catch. And this slide just lays it out perfectly. On the left, you've got the old way of doing things. You don't really know the nutrient levels, so your results are basically a shot in the dark. It's a gamble. What you want is what's on the right, a standardized mix where you get consistent quality, reliable crops, and clear instructions. So the million-dollar question is, how do you get from the left side to the right? So how did Dr. Aparna actually build that bridge? How did she get from this unpredictable tradition to reliable modern science? Well, she did it the way a great scientist does, with a systematic, step-by-step approach to this ancient practice. Her team came up with this really solid four-step process. First, they just dug in and analyzed everything, the chemistry, the biology of these manures. Then they figured out the key active ingredients, the secret sauce, basically. After that, they set up quality control standards. And the final step, they created a clear, simple recipe, a protocol that any farmer anywhere could follow to get the same results. Now, the cool science behind all of this is something called soil enzymology. The easiest way to think about it is this. Soil enzymes are like this tiny invisible cleanup crew in the soil. They're the catalysts that break down all the organic gunk and unlock the nutrients that plants need to eat. So, by figuring out exactly what makes these little guys happy, Dr. Aparna could perfect the recipe to make sure they're always working at their best. Okay, so this is where it gets really exciting. This breakthrough wasn't just some academic paper that sat on a shelf. Oh no, the impact has been absolutely huge, and it's reached everyone from the local farmers working the land all the way up to national policymakers. The first, and you could say the most important impact, was right there on the farms. For the farmers in Kerala, her work gave them exactly what they were missing: a practical, no-nonsense, reliable guide. It took what was kind of an inconsistent traditional method and turned it into a dependable, scientific tool they could count on. But it didn't stop at the local level. Her work got so much attention that she was actually brought onto a national scientific panel for NITI AAYOG. Now, for those who don't know, that's the Indian government's top policy think tank. And her job? To help create national quality standards for these liquid manures. So she basically took her local solution and scaled it up for the entire country. That's huge. So we've got the science and we've got the national policy. But there's another really important piece to Dr. Aparna's legacy. She's made sure that all this amazing knowledge doesn't just get stuck in some dusty old academic journal. I mean, look at this. She's created so much stuff for people to actually use. We're talking leaflets on the liquid manures, pamphlets on how to do vermicomposting, guides for composting, even info on soil testing and biochar. This is about more than just research. It's about empowering farmers and the next generation with real practical knowledge they can actually use. When you step back and look at it, Dr. Aparna's work is just this incredible example of what can happen when you pair up ancient wisdom with modern science. You get rid of the guesswork, you create something reliable, and it just works. It really leaves you with a pretty cool question to think about, doesn't it? What other traditional knowledge is out there, just waiting for science to come along and unlock its full potential?